Hi there, this is Chris from MoneyHub, and this video is going to look at calculating what you can earn with RewardPay. So what I've put in here just as a general sort of estimate would be $100,000 annual spend on GST through the IRD. From that, you would be charged a fee of 1.67%, which equates to $1,670. Of course, you can tax deduct that, but that's something to be aware of, because those costs do add up, like they would for any surcharge should you use your MasterCard or Visa as well. Now, with regards to the membership reward points, so how that works is AMEX offers two cards there which earn them. So one of them is the gold card and the other one is the platinum charge card. Now they both earn 2 membership reward points per $1 spent on your card. Of course, there's boosters and there's other promotions offered like throughout the year, but that's the general standard there, and that's what you would earn using RewardPay. So if I just explain that, then what you're going to earn if you times 100,000 by 2 points per dollar spent, you will earn 200,000 membership reward points. Now let's put those into Qantas and Singapore Airlines frequent flyer points. So if we go to Amex's very helpful guide to their transfer, also their traveler partners, you can see here, if I go down, you can transfer 2 membership reward points to 1 Qantas point. And the second thing is you can also go 2 membership points to 1 KrisFlyer mile, which is Singapore Airlines. There is a minimum balance there of 500, so you'd need to have 500 points there to move over, and then that would get you 250 Singapore or Qantas. But if I just go back to our example, so that's going to get you 100,000 points Qantas or 100,000 points Singapore Airlines. That's a 2-to-1. And then what does that actually mean? What can I do with 100,000 Qantas points or 100,000 Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer miles? So what I've done here is I've done a small example so I put in on the KrisFlyer miles calculator. Of course, these are subject to change at any time. Sometimes airlines do change these, often for the worst, but generally both these airlines have been pretty stable over the years. You can go Auckland to London, and I put it one way, and I put business class, and that is going to end up as 1,350. So you're almost, you're about sort of 2/3 of the way there. And then for Qantas, with that $100,000 spend, and with Qantas, it's 1,446 points. That's for a Auckland to London one way. Now, of course, you can use the points for upgrades. You can use the points for all sorts of things. You can also go closer. So if you wanted to go somewhere, if you wanted to go to Singapore, and that's going to give you a price there of 68,000. So of course your 100,000 that you spent, would obviously cover that. So generally, European destinations tend to be the most valuable in terms of points redemptions. But of course, you're not limited to business class redemptions. You can use it for premium economy. You can use it for first. You can use it for economy. But the sweet spot of value does tend to be the first and business class fares, because that's what costs the most out of New Zealand. You're looking at about $12,000 sometimes on Singapore Airlines, $16,000 for first, if not more, and similar for Qantas, whereas the points can certainly make it worthwhile. So if I just do a rough estimate here, so what I've done here is I've said that 76% is really what you earn from $100,000 for your Singapore Airlines, and then it'll be about 69 because you require more points on Qantas. Then you're going to get 69% of an award from your $100,000 spend. Now, what's it actually worth in dollar terms? I value that, today's figures around $6,000 one way for a business fare. They are usually, of course, cheaper one way, but not always. And so that price, a 76% for $6,000 is $4,500, and then for Qantas is $4,000. Now, this is what you would pay, of course, pre-tax. If you're deducting it for work, then you'd obviously get some tax benefits there. but many people use RewardPay certainly to use the card for work expenses, then earn the points and then use them for personal. What have you actually paid to generate that $4,500 or $4,000 worth of Singapore or Qantas value? Well, it goes back to this original number, which is the 1670. Now, what that is, that's a pre-tax number. So if you're on company tax, then it's about 28% off that. If you're on the highest personal rate, and that's how you've arranged your business affairs, then you've effectively paid $1,000 for $4,000 or $4,500 worth of value. What I should mention is that you will need to pay taxes on top of these. Singapore Airlines charges a small amount, Qantas most of the time a little bit more. So that is worth noting, that it's not just the points that you have to pay, you'll also have to pay some tax amount, which will vary on the destination and of course where you're flying to and from. Which is the destination, but also the class as well for certain places in Europe, which will charge higher amounts for business and first than they will for economy. So that's pretty much the summary there. If you have any questions, do leave them in the comments below. We want to kind of make sure this is widely understood, because people have asked us, well, what if I just want to not use the points for flights? Well, then you can do that as well. There's plenty of partners. You can convert them into cashback. You can convert them into hotels. You can convert them into all sorts of things. We've got a comprehensive guide on membership rewards, which I've linked to below. So you can see all the options there. Those are certainly the hotels, but there's certainly a lot more than that. Second to that, we also asked, what's the best way to actually use the points? Our view there is actually premium flights, so first or business class flights, long haul, just because that is where, as I previously said, you will get that sweet spot. So it's quite easy. If you spend, say, $300,000, you'll certainly earn enough for something that's a return fare that may be worth $10,000 or $12,000. What have you paid for it? You probably paid $3,000 after tax. So there's certainly a saving to be had. And of course, lots of small, medium-sized and large businesses will be spending with the IRD significant amounts of money. So paying with an AMEX does give, of course, like any credit card, some interest-free period. It also gives some protection. Not that there's ever a merchant issue with the IRD or with ACC, but that's worth keeping in mind. So that's pretty much the summary there. And as I said, if you do have any questions, let us know. We want to make these guides as comprehensive as possible, so we look forward to your responses. Thank you.